This is South Coast Kane, and this is another edition of Patio Perspectives. It's a lovely, foggy, 70-degree morning here in South Louisiana. Typical November weather. Oh, so the title of this Patio Perspective is But Miami Beat Notre Dame. I was going to put if X is greater than Y and Y is greater than Z, then X is greater than Z. But YouTube wouldn't let me put that title in there. I guess it has something against the transitive property of inequality. That's right. I'm not just a pretty face on YouTube. I got a little something inside this big melon head. Okay? And according to some folks out there, it won't even fit inside a F1 racing car. But I'm not going to talk about the misinformation that's being spread about me. So I was, I was at work last night, and the talk of the town inside the Miami multiverse is the playoff scenario, and I saw all the rankings come out. Miami is like number 13 or something like that. I don't know. And I just, was listening to a lot of things, but oh, and the big talking point, oh, is, well, Miami beat Notre Dame. We should be ranked ahead of Notre Dame. Again, if X is greater than Y, and Y, and it's like Florida State, if X is greater than Y, and Y is greater than Z, and that Florida State beat Alabama, then Miami should be better than Alabama. You see, this logic has been going on in college football forever. Okay? And the thing about that transitive property, it works in math, not in football. Because the Notre Dame and Miami team from August 31st is not the same teams that are today. All right? Same thing with Florida State. The Florida State of August, late August, August 30th, is not the Florida State of today. Just as the Alabama, you see where I'm getting at? And for some reason, and I understand, and it's cool. It's cool. I'm not here to judge or ridicule anybody's opinion. I'm just giving you my opinion in response to their opinion. Okay? Oh, but everybody, I say everybody, but the vast majority of those on the social medias are using the Miami versus Notre Dame game as the litmus test and justification for Miami being better or higher ranked than they are in the college football playoff poll. Okay? And I understand. I understand their side of the argument. I really do. Oh, but here's the thing. They talk about, well, Notre Dame started 0-2. Okay. All right. So let's compare. Everybody knows the first game of the season back in August 31st, Miami beat Notre Dame 27-24. Okay. And then the next week, Notre Dame turned around and lost to number 16, Texas A&M, by 1 point. Now, this is not I'm not trying to say Notre Dame is great as this and Notre Dame is, I'm not saying that. I'm just telling you the facts. So, Notre Dame's two losses came to a number 10 Miami by 3 points, and then lost to a number 16 A&M by 1 point. All right, let's look at Miami's two losses. Your Louisville team and SMU. Lost to Louisville at home. All right. You lost to A&M on the road in overtime. And the fact of the matter is, yes, Miami was a double-digit favorite in both games, Louisville and SMU. They should have. They had the opportunity to win. What's up, Miss Katie? How you doing this morning? I presume that the weather has been lovely for the Dune Cats. Hopefully they're healthy and well fed. I know they are. But people are failing to realize. I don't know if they're just, in denial or what. But if you compare apples to apples, oranges to oranges, with the argument that, well, Miami beat Notre Dame, you have to look at the whole body of work in that. Like I said, Notre Dame lost to a number 10 team and a number 16 team, and I believe both of them were on the road. Okay. Miami, on the other hand, they played Louisville at home, double-digit favorite. I think they were like a 10, 11, 12-point favorite. Lost it. SMU, same thing. Went over there, had their chance, looked like crap. First road game outside the state of Florida, because Florida State was the first away game for Miami, and they basically blew it. Oh, and when it comes to the rankings, be it the AP, the college football playoff, whatever type of college ranking it is, in the words of Miss Janet Jackson, if you're nasty, call me Janet. Miss Jackson, if you're nasty, I'm sorry. What have you done for me lately? It's always about what have you done for me lately, which I can hear the song in my head, came off the Control album, which was just a spit better than the Rhythm Nation 1814. But that's a whole different subject for a whole different time. We can have that debate at a later date. But yeah, when it comes to college football, it's about what have you done for me lately? And it's just that Notre Dame has won. Okay. A lot of other teams have lost. And Miami has not taken they haven't been able to make use of the opportunities. They blew it against Louisville and SMU. And because of that, odds are they may finish third, maybe fourth in the ACC. Now, everybody sees again the ESPN bracket picture. Okay. D Major don't know what Ligma is, so I'm going to say no. But glad you're here. And you have to also understand, they're not showing the ACC champion in that bracket. Now, if Georgia Tech or SMU or Virginia, or Pitt or Duke win the ACC championship, are they saying that Miami's going to jump them, even though Miami could end up fourth in the ACC? I don't know. But when it comes down to Miami, I believe it's going to come down. Oh, here he is, Mr. Misinformation himself, the elite Cuban King. Unbelievable. Oh, you better be lucky I like you, Cuban. Posting all those lies and deceit about me. Anyway, so really, I think I really believe it's all going to come down to the Miami Pittsburgh game. With the Virginia Tech game being the early game, the first game, the noon game, East Coast time against Virginia Tech, I really think that's going to be a big help and a blessing and a fortune for Miami because if it had been later, I don't know. But with Miami playing Virginia Tech early, I really believe they have a good chance. Um, but then again, they played SMU early also. But that's beside the point. I really think that it's going to come down to Miami versus Pittsburgh. And I don't really want to relive the 2017 season. Uh, Katie says the highest ranked conference champs are in, which would be exactly, exactly. Um, but that's what I think. If and this you can caps lock if Miami was to beat Virginia Tech and Pittsburgh, it's I just don't see how the committee can put both ACC champion, which is supposed to be a guaranteed spot in the playoff. Okay, I don't see how they're going to do it. I don't know. I personally, as much as I would love, as much as I want to see and love to see Miami in the playoffs and get a chance, regardless if they get mauled or win, I just don't think they're going to make it, even if they win out. Okay? And I cannot honestly give any justification or logic or reasoning that gives Miami a chance to make it into the playoffs. I really don't. Um, I know Florida State got snubbed a few years ago, but I just I just don't think it's going to happen. Now I know if you're thinking that I'm being negative or I'm just being a hater or I'm just miserable, as some people said. Yeah, I know Alpaca believes we're getting in, but as I just don't see it. A lot of people, like I said, Miami had their chance. Okay, we get at that, and but and the reason why, to those who think that we are being miserable and haters and whatever, the way I see it, the season is a culmination of all games. In other words, just because you blow out of Syracuse and just because you take care of business and dominate an NC State team doesn't automatically negate and wash away the stench of the Louisville SMU game. And look, I get it. I understand. You got folks out there on this YouTube, social media, they have to keep the brand up. They have to keep their contingency happy. They have to keep the coffers full, and that's cool. I'm not knocking that. And they'll say whatever they need to say in order to make the masses happy. Fine, that's cool. I'm not judging that. I'm just saying, this is all free of charge. This is a better deal than Timu. Okay? But I like the NC State game. Yes, we were happy that they won. But we look at the whole picture. the whole enchilada, as they say. And in order to get to the playoffs or to be successful, uh, you have to have a whole body of work. And when you're in the ACC and you're Miami, that's two strikes against you already. And then when you drop games against the Louisville and a SMU that you should have won, that's strike three. You know, uh, conference game matter. If you can't win those games, the hell. I mean, and I agree, Katie. It'd be a different story. Okay, it would be a different story if Miami was in the three-way tie, four-way tie with one loss. Okay, I can understand that. I could understand if you had, say, God, hypothetically, say you had three or four undefeated ACC conference game teams. I can understand that. But with Miami sitting there with two losses, games they should have won, thanks to inadequate, inept, and illogical coaching decisions, game day, game planning, okay? It is what it is. And right now, I get this feeling, and again, I mean no disrespect. I'm just calling it like I see it. I really think that folks are out there grasping at straws, trying to find something. What's up, Anthony? I think they're trying to find some hope, some lifeline to justify Miami's football season to be a success and move on to the playoffs. That's what I think. Again, there's nothing wrong with that. I just have a different mentality and a mindset and a methodology, in that Miami has been very inconsistent. I'm sure they'll come out and just dominate Virginia Tech. And then, if history serves us well, they'll lay an egg against Pittsburgh. I mean, I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong. What'd you say, Anthony? Is it possible that Miami was to control everything to start and he doesn't? Yeah, I believe so. I really do. Now, I know me saying that Mario calls offensive plays triggers a lot of people. It sends them to their safe space. But that's not my problem, dude. But yeah, I do believe it is. But I think, with that being said, I believe that the Virginia Tech game is going to look very similar to the NC State game. But if it comes down to Pittsburgh, you better believe we know who's going to take control of that game. They're not going to let it slip away. They're going to be all hands on. Oh, yes. 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 But I don't know. I think it's both hilarious and annoying. All this talk, like I said, but Miami beat Notre Dame. That was, what, 3 months ago? Almost 3 months. Things have changed. And you're right. You're right, Katie. The participation trophy. Now, Vic will be. Now, look, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that if you take the Miami football team against the Ole Miss, A&M, Alabama, whoever. Hey, Rue! What's up, dude? I feel if this team was guided and set up for success like they should be, this team, I don't really see anybody stopping this team with the talent that Miami has. But unfortunately, they've put a governor on the motor. They're not utilizing the weapons, And I think that's the big issue. I don't get it. I don't understand it. You know, should have been ahead of Notre Dame because of the win. Hey, okay, that's what I was just talking about, Anthony. The win. Okay, Miami beat Notre Dame. Yes, we know that. It's factual. Okay, but no, this is not the season, Cuban. It's next season. It's next season. It. See, here's the thing. Basically, Notre Dame lost their first two games against top 20 ranked opponents at the time early in the season. Okay, lost to Miami by 3, lost by A&M by 1. Okay, I just talked to him. But the thing is, Miami lost to Louisville. They were what, 5-1, 4-1 at the time. Miami was favored by double digits at home. SMU, they had what, a couple of losses. Miami was favored by double digits. You see where I'm getting at? In other words, Miami was supposed to. The people thought, the bookies thought they should have won, and it would be different. I could understand the comparison if Louisville was ranked number 15 and SMU was ranked number 10 or what. I could understand. Okay. But I've been saying they're getting in. You should not be a fan for going. I'm just saying. If Miami wins the next two games, maybe they do. Maybe they don't. I don't know. But, I just think that Miami has done what Miami does. They shoot themselves in the foot, they reload the gun, shoot themselves in the other foot, reload the gun, shoot themselves in the foot, wash, rinse, repeat. Okay? And look, I would, if Miami makes it in, they make it in. Okay? It's just as of right now, on the 19th, yeah, it is the 19th of November. I just don't see how they can when they could finish fourth at best in the ACC. I don't know. And then what's more discouraging than anything is the fact that Miami had their opportunity and they blew it. And I got a bad, like I said earlier, well, the thing about Alabama, again, they lost like Alabama, Alabama lost the first week of the season. They had time to recoup their losses. Even with Miami losing at Louisville, they had time to recoup their losses. It was the 1st of November. You got time to bring it back up. Okay. But then Miami turns around 2 weeks, 3 weeks later and loses to SMU. But it is what it is. What'd you say, Anthony? Let's say Miami does not win the conference, but their highest ranked team outside of our. Do we get? I don't know. I don't know. I mean, maybe the rankings will help them out. I don't know. But I'm having a hard time understanding the logic of if Miami wins out and they finish, say, 4th or 5th in the ACC, I have a hard time thinking that just because they were ranked higher nationally that they would get in over the other teams. Okay? Just because I don't understand it doesn't mean I don't want it to come to fruition. I mean, I do. I want Miami to make it. I'm not finding the logic in it. And if and I think Coach Hayes said, I watched a little bit of Coach Hayes last night. I was at work, so I didn't get a chance to really do much. But why is it the ACC always gets snubbed? Okay. Oh, but again, it's right now. It's just like the off season. Everybody's right. Everybody's wrong. Okay. And when it comes to the playoffs right now, everybody's right. Everybody's wrong. Everybody has their opinion. Everybody has their thoughts. And right now, nobody's right. Nobody's wrong. Oh, like I talked about the other day, you have your sunshine pumpers, you have the CCC that's trying to keep fans hyped and not losing hope so they can put seats in the stands and the CCC can get their money, et cetera, et cetera. And you have a lot of folks out there on the social media that are using this, I don't want to say controversy, but they're using this situation that, oh, what you say? The waters can go over to LOC and open wide. Oh man. Oh, but yeah, it is what it is. And if Miami takes care of business in the next two games, great. And in my world, if they take care of business and they don't, it's still great because again, Miami football and athletics is part of my life. I'm not part of its life. My channel, our channel, the channel doesn't revolve around views, clicks, likes, subscriptions, etc., etc. You see where I'm getting at? So that's why I just say what I say, give you my opinion. If you agree, you agree. If you don't, you don't. That's okay. But I will say this. The last thing I am is miserable. Okay? I'll let you read between the lines on that one if you watch the post-game show. Or if you watch the replay of it and saw comments. The last thing I am is miserable. But it's cool. I ain't mad. Cuban's always right. Well, I think the elite Cuban cane may be right at spreading misinformation, lies, untruths, deception. But anyway, I just wanted to get on here, give my 3 cents and a nickel. Well, you really can't give too many more cents because they aren't making pennies anymore. Ah, I'm miserable. Yeah, okay, that's fine. But yeah, I said I just wanted to get on here, give you my thoughts, give you my theories, my opinions. I'm not trying to be anti anything, but I have noticed and watched and listened and heard everybody trying to justify what's going on, and that's cool. That's cool. That's fine. I mean, I'm with you. But I just don't see how it's going to happen. I really don't. But as far as programming note. Oh, I forgot to say, let's take a moment to recognize the sponsor of this channel, KMA, where their slogan is, if you don't like it, KMA. Okay. And those who know what I'm talking about. We don't discuss politics on this channel, sir. What I think about Trump is none of your business, and what you think about Trump is none of my business. That's we don't do that here. Okay, not that we don't want to, but it's nobody's business. Okay. Again, politics. That's your personal thing. Live your life. Do what makes you and yours happy. Okay, but we don't talk about that here. So yeah, we got the Las Vegas Grand Prix coming up this weekend. We got the Miami game is early. Oklahoma to lose. Okay, Hayru. I'm with you until you said Oklahoma lose to LSU. No disrespect to the CEO. Okay. I do not see LSU beating Oklahoma. I'm sorry. I have to push back on that. I mean, for the sake of the CEO, I hope LSU does obliterate Oklahoma. And for my own personal, I don't want to say hatred, but dislike of Oklahoma, I hope they do. But I don't know. But you never know. Oh, and speaking of the CEO, oh, I do want to say that me and the CEO, or the CEO and I, whichever is the correct English way to say it, we are going. We are. I'm in the process of setting up a new channel. Okay, it's kind of a spin-off of the South Coast Cane Show. Uh, the channel name is "Let Me Tell You One Thing." Uh, what does it say? I read first knows you focused on. Yes, look, to keep peace in the valley, to keep the CEO happy, we have to make sure LSU does well. Okay? So, but what I'm saying is, yes, me and the CEO have decided that we're going to have our own little talk show. Like I said, it's called "Let Me Tell You One Thing." Okay? Oh, look, if the CEO fires me, I'm in trouble. I can't have that guy. Keep the boss happy. Where we're gonna, or me and the CEO, we're gonna sit there and we're gonna talk on camera together, probably be live. I don't know. We'll just discuss topics and things that we see. I can't really say when it's going to happen. Hopefully, I mean, I know probably after the holiday. Once this holiday's over, we don't know. But stay alert, stay tuned. But we'll just sit there and just talk about, things like people of the world, the way things people do, driving techniques. Oh, I'm gonna be very nice and quiet. Oh yeah, but anyway, that's something that we've decided to do, and I just got her headphones in this morning, and I got to go set the mics and get that stuff going. See if I can get the technical things. Uh, oh yeah, be a lot of yes, ma'am. Hell yeah. Uh, but it's not going to really be a sports show. We may discuss it. That may be one of the topics, but it's just going to be me and her on there talking about basically why people do what they do, and people are morons, and you know what I'm saying. It is what it is, just to try it out. But I'll let y'all know again. The name of the channel is "Let Me Tell You One Thing." Oh, but other than that, like I said, I just wanted to give you my thoughts and theories on all the noise that's going on. And if Israel or Ike, if y'all watch this, hey, if y'all want to hook up, let me know. I have no problem with it. But I think we're about due for a roundtable discussion pretty soon. And I think that'd be pretty cool. But other than that, I'm going to go hook some things up and try to get a nap. But this is South Coast Cane. Peace, love, and soul. Let's go, Canes. Thank y'all for watching. Thank you for rewatching. Thank you for spending a little time with us on a Wednesday morning. Bye.